Do you want to take better photos? Or maybe you just want to impress your Instagram followers with some high-end photography skills? Whatever your motive might be, welcome aboard on a journey where we delve into the mystical and enchanting world of photography. Stay tuned as we peel away the layers of mystery around capturing those perfect, jaw-dropping images. Let's become the click masters of photography together. First off, you need to understand your camera, the tool of your art. Let's delve the world of cameras. Ever felt like your camera has more buttons than a spaceship? Well, you're not alone, my friend. The diversity of devices out there might seem overwhelming, but fret not. We're here to make sense of it all. Let's break them down into 4 main types: digital single lens reflex or DSLR, mirrorless compact, and the one that's likely in your pocket right now, the smartphone camera. Starting with the DSLR, the heavyweight of the camera world. They're known for their superior image quality, interchangeable lenses, and full control over settings. For those who want to get serious about photography, a DSLR might be your perfect companion, but remember, spacesuit required. Next, we have the mirrorless cameras. These are the new kids on the block, offering the image quality and control of a DSLR, but in a lighter, smaller package. They're great for those who want professional results without the extra weight, or the extra buttons. Now let's look at compact cameras. These are your point-and-shoot devices. They're small, lightweight, and user-friendly. If you're after simplicity and convenience, a compact camera is your best bet, and with fewer buttons than spaceship, of course. Last but not least, the smartphone camera. We can't ignore the fact that smartphones have revolutionized photography. They're always with us, and their capabilities are improving every year. While they don't offer the same level of control as a DSLR or mirrorless, they do provide a great starting point for beginners. And the only spaceship quality about them might be their price. Now here's the thing, it's not about having the most expensive camera or the latest model. It's about understanding the camera you have, even if it seems like it's from another planet. Each camera type we've talked about has its strengths and limitations. The key is to get to know your device. Learn its features, experiment with its settings. Remember, photography is an art, and your camera is your brush. The more you understand it, the more you can push its boundaries and create something truly unique. So, whether you're using a DSLR, a mirrorless, a compact, or a smartphone, take the time to really get to know your device. Play with it, experiment with it, push its limits. Remember, the best camera is not the one from a spaceship, but the one you know how to use. Think of the exposure triangle as a trio of divas. Each one is important, but they have to work together to put on a good show. It's the Mariah, Whitney, and Celine of the photography world. Each element, just like these divas, has its unique qualities and contribution. The diva named aperture is the eye of your camera, a hole within the lens that can be made larger or smaller to control the amount of light, much like Mariah hitting those high notes to control the crowd's emotions. Next, we have the Whitney of the group, shutter speed. This diva refers to the length of time the camera's shutter is open, and just like Whitney's powerful sustained notes, a longer shutter speed captures more light and movement. Our third diva, the Celine the ISO, controls the camera's sensitivity to light. Just as Celine's voice can vary in intensity, so too can the ISO vary in sensitivity, adjusting the brightness of your image. Our diva trio, aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, form a harmonic triangle of balance. Adjusting one diva can throw off the performance of the other two, just as adjusting one of these elements will affect the final exposure of your image. It's all about finding the right harmony to achieve the desired effect in your photo. Mastering the exposure triangle is like nailing a diva's high note. It gives you control over how your photos look. It's the key to unlocking your creative potential and capturing the world through your unique lens, or in our analogy, hitting the stage and blowing away the audience with your spectacular performance. With technical basics covered, let's move to composition, the art of arranging your photo. And no, we're not about arranging your breakfast for an Instagram shot. Imagine you're a painter with a blank canvas. In photography, your canvas is the viewfinder and the scene you're capturing. How you arrange your elements within that space can or break your photo. Let's start with the rule of thirds. Ever heard of it, folks? It's not a new diet trend, I promise. Picture a grid of 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines evenly spaced across your frame. The idea is to place your subject along these lines or at their intersections. This technique is a simple way to add balance and interest to your photo. It's like a secret recipe used by many photographers to cook up some visually appealing shots. And no, it's not safe to eat. Next up, we have leading lines. They are the invisible pathways that guide your viewer's eye through the image. It could be a winding road, a row of trees, or even a trail of footsteps in the sand. Leading lines create a sense of depth, drawing the viewer into the photo and towards the main subject. They're like tour guides, pointing out the highlights and making sure no one gets lost along the way. Well, unless they're guiding you straight into a haunted house. Lastly, let's talk about framing. This technique is all about using natural elements in your scene to frame your subject. It could be an archway, a window, or even the branches of a tree. Framing helps to isolate your subject, drawing attention to it while adding context and depth to the photo. It's like a spotlight on a stage, highlighting the star of the show, or in our case, the star of your photo. These techniques are like the ingredients in a recipe. You can use them individually or mix them together to create your own unique blend. You might even discover new techniques along the way. Remember, rules are made to be broken. Don't be afraid to experiment and see what works best for your style. It's all about telling a story through your lens, capturing a moment in time that can never be replicated. Good composition can turn an ordinary scene into an extraordinary photo, or at least make your cat photos look like they were shot by a pro. Finally, the most important aspect of photography: practice. Photography, like any other art form, requires patience and dedication. As the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your photography skills. They will grow and refine with each click of your camera. Now remember, practice makes or at least less blurry photos. Consistency is the key. Make it a habit to carry your camera with you and the world around you. A sunset, a smile, a city skyline, or a dew-kissed flower, every subject offers a unique opportunity to apply and enhance your skills. Don't shy away from experimenting. Try out different lighting conditions, play with composition techniques, or dabble in varying exposure settings. There are no mistakes, only lessons. Every photograph you take is a step closer to understanding your unique style and vision. So keep your camera close, your mind open, and your finger ready on the shutter. Your journey to better starts with your next click, or a slightly less blurry one. So, let's add a little chuckle to our recap today. We've learned quite a lot, but let's be honest, we've also learned that our camera has more buttons than a spaceship's control panel. We began our adventure by getting to know those sneaky little buttons, exploring their purpose, and understanding how to use them without causing a small explosion. Then, we plunged headfirst into the mysterious jungle of the exposure triangle, taming the beasts of aperture, shutter speed, and ISO to capture that elusive, perfect shot. We delved into the art of composition, learning how to pose our subjects and manipulate elements like lines, patterns, and colors as if we were puppeteers. And naturally, we preached the gospel of practice because, as the saying goes, practice makes a seasoned photographer. Remember, there's no magic potion or secret handshake to ace photography. It's a journey where learning and experimentation are your loyal travel buddies. So keep clicking, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep enjoying the beauty of photography, for each click can transform into a masterpiece. Until we reunite, happy clicking, my fellow button mashers.